Time. Hi. I am so excited to brew this coffee today, especially because it brings me so many great memories. And I want you judges to have a similar, an amazing experience with this coffee as the first time I had it. I want to stimulate your senses based on my sensory library, my sensory memory, that, as you know, comes from 5 different senses. And these senses are only stored for as long as they're being stimulated. After that, they are reprocessed and associated with what we call short-term memory. I like to think of our short-term memory as a post-it note to our brain. It's there when we need it. This means that we can only remember what we have already experienced, that we can only describe what we have already tasted in our past. And this has everything to do with coffee, where we come from, our background, the moments that we lived in our past influence directly on how we perceive coffees differently. And that's exactly what I want to talk about today. I want you judges to have a beautiful moment with my coffee, but based on my background. And to do that, I'm going to tell you about different phases of my life that led me to describe this extraordinary cup of coffee. When I was a kid, I spent most of my childhood vacation at our farm in Minas Gerais, Brazil. And I can remember as if it was yesterday, waking up to the very fresh smell of orange cake coming straight out of the oven, or running in the middle of the coffee trees during the coffee blossom, such a unique and beautiful aroma. This coffee also took me back to another very good phase of my life when I lived in Portland, Oregon for 10 years. And I can remember precisely. It was summertime and I was going strawberry picking for the first time with my family, eating some of the ripe, sweet strawberries right then and there. Such a vivid and sweet memory. When choosing the brewing method and the brewing technique, I wanted something that was going to translate all of these sensations and perceptions to the cup. I'll be using the origami coffee dripper, the smaller size because it creates more vibrancy of flavors, and also the plastic version because it does not contract any heat, influencing directly on my flow rate. Now, another interesting thing about the origami coffee dripper is that it allows me to use a flat bottom filter, guaranteeing that all the coffee is distributed evenly on the filter bed, making sure all the water is going to go through the coffee on the same level, avoiding bypass and, of course, bringing more balance and sweetness. Judges, I'm going to start my extraction. Please follow me as I tell you exactly what I'm doing, starting by the concentration. I'm using 16.5 grams of coffee for 240 grams of water. This concentration contributes to a high-quality body, distinctively silky. I'm grinding medium coarse, around 680 micra. Grinding medium coarse for this coffee contributes to vibrancy of flavors. Now, I divided my extraction in 3 parts of 80 grams of water with a 40-second interval. And I'm alternating in between a circle pour for balance and a center pour with more turbulence for body. The water temperature. I'm using 2 different temperatures, enhancing the sweetness of my coffee. The first 2 pours at 94 degrees, and the last 2 pours, the last pour, correction, at 92 degrees. I will finish my extraction with 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Having a faster extraction time for this coffee brings all the flavors that I want you to find in your cup, but especially, mostly, the floral notes. Now, another very important thing, when we were constructing the extraction of this coffee was the water. And this water has a higher percentage of magnesium, bringing more clarity of flavors and brightness as well. The roast of this coffee was done with 12% of development, bringing uniformity and balance in between body, aftertaste, and sweetness. Now, judges, as I finish my extraction, let's go to my favorite part about this coffee, the attributes, starting by the aroma. So please, take notes. On the aroma, you will find ripe strawberries, like that summertime in Oregon, coffee blossom, and honey. The flavor of this coffee. When it's hot, warm, and cold, you'll find ripe strawberries, coffee blossom, and candied orange. As it cools down, it elevates the floral notes. So you will also find orange blossom. The aftertaste of this coffee is persistent and pleasant, and it lingers for a very long time. When it's hot, warm, and cold, you will find ripe strawberries and jasmine. The acidity of this coffee is very interesting because it changes throughout the cup. When it's hot and warm, it's medium and tartaric. As it cools down, it becomes citric, but still medium. The body of this coffee is medium throughout the cup and silky. Now, one of my favorite parts about this coffee is the balance. This is a very well-balanced coffee. It has a very good balance in between the aftertaste that lingers the flavor, the medium, tartaric, and citric acidity that goes very well with the mouthfeel and the sweetness. Now, judges, I know you must be very curious to know where my coffee's from, but first, I'm going to ask you to please take the aroma straight from the server. When you are finished, please put it down, and I'll take it back. Here you go. Enjoy. Enjoy. Just reminding you of the aroma, ripe strawberries, coffee blossom, and honey. Excuse me. Ready? Can I take it? It's exactly this curiosity, this urge to know more and learn more that motivates me every single day in coffee. And this is why I'm here. So as we wait for the coffee to get to the right temperature before you first taste it, let's talk about it. Being a producer's daughter and seeing the love and passion in my father's eyes, every time he talked about coffee production, always got me very curious and very passionate about different processes and how each region in the world have their own unique flavors. This is why I chose this coffee. I fell in love with it, not only because it brought me back all of those great memories that I told you about, but especially because the process just gave it even more potential, not hiding any of it. The coffee I brewed today is a Geisha 1931 varietal, known for its strawberry and floral notes that you'll find today in your cup. This coffee is produced in Ethiopia by Adam and Rachel near the town of Geisha in the Geisha Village Farm, worldly known for their quality coffees. This coffee is produced in 1,900 meters of altitude, which along with the soil, the varietal, and the process, brings the citric and tartaric acidity that you find today in your cup. The process of this coffee, as I told you, was very interesting. It was a cold aerobic fermentation, which means it was fermented in a cold and dark room for 60 hours, bringing the silky body and fruity notes, but delicate, that you find in your cup. This coffee, after that, it went to the raised beds where it dried naturally and evenly, bringing sweetness and uniformity and balance to your cup. Judges, I'm going to serve you this coffee. I hope that through my perceptions, along with your perceptions, and my stories, along with your stories, you can enjoy this coffee as much as I enjoyed brewing it for you. I'm going to ask you to please drink straight from the cup, as this cup was designed to encapsulate and bring you a full experience with my coffee. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy, and this is my time.